Hello. Hello, guys. This is Robert Morris. I'm here to reach out to Joe Public, to all you people out there that might not be aware of the situation at hand. You might be following the mainstream media story, which is BS. And there's a reason why. Now, what is the story you're talking about? I am talking about the flood of dead holistic doctors that has started since June. Right now, as far as I'm aware, the death toll is now to 8. 8 holistic doctors are dead. And they can all be linked to GcMaf, which is a protein that is found in the human body. It's produced by the body. I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm not a doctor. However, there's a lot of things here that do go into the realm of common sense once you begin to think about it. And I would like you to come down this path with me and somewhat, venture down this rabbit hole with me, because before we get to number 9, we can prevent this happening to a 9th person, Amanda Mary Jewell. Right now, she's barricaded in her hotel room on the island of Dominica. She's afraid for her life. She's been smeared by the mainstream media, being called many things, which we'll get into shortly. And please do not hit that stop button just yet. I will break this down into points. I don't want this to be a lengthy video. I do want it to be informative to get you on the path to figuring out what is going on here. Right now, there's a little bit of war being waged with the mainstream media and Big Pharma. They want to cover this up. They do not want this information to get out. This is why these 8 holistic doctors are dead in the first place, because of a revolutionary breakthrough in medicine, basically. And this could very possibly be the end of cancer, autism, and several other diseases that Big Pharma is making a crap ton of money off of in long-term treatments and what have you. So please, please, please do not hit that stop button just yet. And if you do, and you even have half of a heart and you're a decent person, share this information, get it out there. The more people that know this stuff, the better. And the more people that are exposed to this story, maybe you can help in your own way by shattering some of the doubts, or even casting or shedding more light on this information. This is exactly what the mainstream media is trying to avoid. And we'll explore the situation first, directly with these dead doctors. We're going to get into what GcMaf is, what MMS is, and what nagalase and vitamin D binders are all about. Anyway, there's going to be a little bit of a pseudoscience here. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but at least I'll provide all the links. You guys can go and check the stuff out for yourself, and maybe we can help save a life and possibly save the lives of millions out there with several afflictions. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with these doctors that are dead. There are tons of articles out there. All right, so since June 19th, 8 medical holistic alternative doctors have been found dead, and at least 4 of these deaths are being treated as homicides. These deaths have perplexed and rattled people, especially those in the alternative medicine community, and everyone is wondering what exactly is going on. Are these deaths linked? We spoke with Erin Elizabeth, full interview below, who first broke the story after the death of Dr. Bradstreet. Yes, okay, Dr. Bradstreet was the first one, close personal friend to Amanda Mary Jewell. He was basically, like I said, the first one. He was found with a gunshot wound to the chest, and they're calling it self-inflicted. They also apparently found him in a river. So after shooting himself in the chest, he flung himself into the river, where he would be later found. So think about how silly that sounds. Anyway, June 19th, Dr. Bradstreet, well known for his work and research on autism, found dead in a river with gunshot wounds to the chest in North Carolina. Self-inflicted, question mark. June 21st, 2 days later, Dr. Hedendal and Dr. Holt found dead on the east coast of Florida. Dr. Hedendal died in his car, and Dr. Holt's death has yet to be determined, or cause of death, I guess they mean to say. June 29th, just over a week later, Dr. Teresa Sievers found murdered in her home. Dr. Jeffrey Whiteside goes missing. Reports say he just walked away. July 10th, Lisa Riley found in her home with gunshot wound to her head. July 19th, Dr. Ron Schwartz found murdered in his home on the east coast of Florida. July 21st, Dr. Nicholas Gonzalez died as a result of cardiac-related issue. July 23rd, Dr. Jeffrey Whiteside is found dead in Door County with a .22 caliber close to his body. Although the timing and similarity of these deaths could be coincidental, authorities are not ruling out a possible link, particularly considering 5 of the 8 were found in Florida. These doctors have left behind family, friends, and patients who trusted and respected them. What links them all together? Well, they were all involved, or at least linked, with utilizing a particular treatment known as GcMaf. And it's a type of microphage. Let's see here. There's a really, really good page with a lot of information here. Macrophages are big and smart white blood cells that chase, capture, engulf, and digest intruders. They trap and I can't even say the word, literally eat their enemies. They can multiply rapidly when necessary. However, they're naturally indolent and need to be activated by VDBP, which is it's a vitamin D binding protein. And, well, we all know where we get vitamin D from, the sun. And, well, that's another conversation for later on. But anyway, let's continue on here. Opsonin superglue helps them stick to their prey. Their electron-driven free radical death ray, aka oxidative burst, blasts holes in microbes and cancer cells. Once a microbe or cancer cell has been phagocytized by a macro, it is encapsulated inside phagolysosome. Okay, the intracellular death chamber. My pronunciations are horrible. I don't want to murder these words. I will leave links so that you can read these yourself. Where it is then killed if it isn't dead already, and then dissected down into its component parts, which are then recycled. Here's how it works. When it isn't swimming in the bloodstream, a macrophage can slowly walk through tissues using self-generated stumpy little 1-micron legs. About 10 of them sprout at a time. The macrophage ambles over to and snuggles up alongside a foreign invader, quickly identifies it as foe, sprays it with membrane-flying free radical-laden burst, grabs, engulfs, smothers, kills, and digests it. If the enemy is further away or trying to escape, the macrophage chases after it, extrudes a cluster of long, thin, sticky, spaghetti-like tentacles that wrap around and ensnare the fugitive cell, clutching it in its unbreakable stranglehold. In a process known as phagocytosis, the macrophage draws in its victim, engulfs and smothers it, then encases it in a small bubble-like cyst called a phagolysosome, I guess. I don't know. Inside its cytoplasm. The phagolysosome, that thing, then secretes a cocktail of corrosive free radicals and enzymes that rapidly digest its victim down into its component parts, amino acids, nucleic acids, fatty acids, etc. The macrophage then spits out these pieces into the intercellular soup. Because the remnants of viruses and cancer cells are fundamental cellular building blocks, the body quickly recycles them using the spare parts to build brand new healthy cells. All right. So you get an idea of what these macrophages are. And GcMaf is one of them. There's actually an entire blog here about their direct work with it. There's some of Dr. Bradstreet's notes here. He's the first person to show up dead. Now, What's the significance and why? Well, I'll tell you why. If you go to any of these articles, and I will supply some links. You go to any of these mainstream articles, not a single one of them. These are not the articles that I'm. This article, for instance, talking about the dead doctors, will not name the link about GcMaf. Neither does this one. I don't believe. I've been trying to see if I could find it. They don't mention GcMaf yet. All of these doctors were in some way, shape, or form connected to using it or knew about it and knew about its effects. Now, there has been a smearing campaign lit up like the 4th of July, trying to call Amanda Mary Jewell everything from a baby killer to a scam artist. One of the big ones here in the Daily Mail rather, that she's under investigation. She was thrown out of the church because she reported findings that another treatment called MMS was potentially dangerous over long-term use. They pretty much told her to shut her mouth and just to keep on keeping on, because there was an extreme amount of money being made with MMS treatments. And then suddenly she was excommunicated by the church. There's more information on that as well. Again, I'm going to leave all the possible links that you guys will need to go and read this for yourself. Anyway, but yeah, they're saying that she's under investigation for selling a cancer cure that contains bleach. They're not talking about GcMaf. They're talking about MMS. And yeah, it's really funny. Why would they not talk about GcMaf? Well, it's a very simple strategy. They don't want people to know about it. They don't want you to research this. They don't want you to know that chemotherapy's bad. They don't want you to know that all the drugs are giving you for autism, for hepatitis, for all these other diseases that GcMaf actually treats properly and gets rid of. If anybody knew about this stuff, or if everybody knew about it, the pharmaceutical industry, big pharma, would go down the shitter. Pardon my French, they'd be gone. They'd be losing money. That's why these doctors are turning up dead. And this is why she is barricaded up in a hotel room and afraid for her life. Now, with the mainstream media calling her a baby killer, can you imagine how hard it is for her just to walk down the street in a foreign country? The locals want to have her dead. She's getting death threats on a daily basis. This has to stop, people. She needs to go home. She needs to be safe. And even on the off chance that some of these negative rumors about her could even possibly be true, she still deserves a right to get a fair trial. She doesn't need to be killed on the street. She doesn't need to be sitting in a hotel room afraid for her life. She deserves to get passage where it's safe and then be tried for something. At least that. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit emotional about this. People, we cannot tolerate this. Not only can we not tolerate her rights being violated, but it's the rights of every damn human on this planet to not be treated this way by Big Pharma. This truth has to get out. People need to know more about GcMaf. They need to know what is actually happening in the pharmaceutical industry, because this right now is a deciding point. Are you asleep, or are you gonna take it, or are you just going to believe everything they say on CNN, CBC, BBC? Think about that for a second. Anyway, let's go back to what actually causes these cancers. First off, I've been doing a lot of research myself just recently and over the course of the last bunch of years. I've already known that cancer cells are an innate part of our biology. Cells go rogue all the time from all different types of reasons. There's hundreds of reasons why a cell will mutate. Some of it's being in an acidic environment. Even subatomic particles that make it through our atmosphere can smash into the RNA sequences and destroy a DNA chain, and that cell will mutate. These things happen all the time. Our bodies are designed to fight them. And anybody who knows numbers, just go back and look at the numbers. Breast cancer exploded in the 80s and 90s. Lung cancer, 80s and 90s. And you know, these things could probably trace back to, actually, not probably. Like, we're going to get into some other diseases. Cancer's only one of them. But these explosions are always following a vaccination protocol of some sort. Autism is up. When I was a kid, and anybody my age, and anyone my dad's age, damn it, you should be able to think back. When was autism big? When was autism big? It didn't get big until recently. Never was big. Autism, all of these, this major influx of these diseases. Like, I thought vaccinations are supposed to help us get better. No, they're making us sicker and sicker and sicker. Because Big Pharma is out there trying to make money. Period. And I've had enough. Anyway, I didn't want to go on yelling and screaming, but to be quite honest with you, like, I've had enough. I'm in constant contact with Amanda Jewell, myself, who she calls herself Mary, actually. There's a bunch of us in this movement that are in touch with her on a pretty much day-to-day level. We had a live show. We tried to keep the mood somewhat light, but it was a pretty urgent show following an interview done by Spiro, another gentleman in the Truth Movement, who did a nice hour-long interview with Amanda Mary. Later on that evening, we did our show. We had Amanda and her husband Doug on there as well, and it was quite good to hear from them and get their side of the story. All she wants to do is clear her name. And the Daily Mail says that that she's under investigation or under charges, and that she's on the run. She's not on the run. No charges have been filed. She's not under investigation. Yeah. Trading standards officers and police raided the £3 million home of Amanda and Doug Jewell in Surrey earlier this month to break up a meeting of members of the Church of Genesis. First off, the Church of Genesis had already excommunicated her. It was not her house. She didn't own it. She rents a very modest home, which she wasn't even at. And this was the house of the church, which was a place that they were allowed to hold meetings. But she was already excommunicated from the church, and it was being raided over the MMS claims. It had nothing to do with the GcMaf. And anyway, that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of BS in some of these stories, but not so much here to talk about Amanda as much as I want to get what she calls a miracle, and this has to get out. She wants people to know about GcMaf. She's convinced. We're not so convinced that her days are as numbered as she thinks, because, 8 of her colleagues are already dead, so she doesn't think she has much time left. Personally, I'm a little bit more optimistic, as are the other members in this truth community. However, that said, though, people need to be aware of GcMaf. I don't know how many of you have lost people to cancer or to autism or to hepatitis and to a long list of other diseases. But anybody who has, well, think about what you went through. You want more people to go through that, or no? Do you want at least some evidence of a cure to present itself? How long have we been paying money to fund cancer research? It's the biggest joke on the planet, people. It's a goddamn joke. So much money has been spent feeding cancer research. It's a joke, people. Big Pharma doesn't want a cure for it. They understand it so much, they know how to create it. And it's by putting Nagalase What's nagalase? Well, I'll tell you. They put nagalase into the foods directly. They shut down your MAF production and destroy vitamin D binding proteins. And that's when nagalase gets into your system and shuts everything down. Nagalase will get in there and it just shuts down the engine. Vitamin D, these vitamin D or MAF proteins and the binders we get from sunlight. I mean, it's that simple. And I mean, they always say that the body's a complex thing. Well, it is complex, but it's also very, very simple and very efficient. And we've been around a long time getting raised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, yeah. Say what you want to this, but, you respond however you like. But, I mean, some would say that the reflectivity of all the crap they're spraying in the atmosphere might actually reflect away the frequency or the spectrum of light that we need to create vitamin D properly. But whatever, that's another story. That's for another video, another day. The truth of the matter is that they inhibit our body's ability to produce these proteins. And by the way, GcMaf is naturally occurring, as is VDBP. It's the same. It happens internally, but when these things get shut down, you need supplementation, and that's what the GcMaf is about. It's a supplement to I guess it's basically supplement the GcMaf itself and to kickstart the body back into producing it. But regardless, like I said, I'm not a doctor. You guys can read this up, but the important thing to realize this is that we can't afford to let this go unchecked. If it's true, this is save the world kind of shit, people. If it's true, like, everybody should be doing this stuff, and we got to attack Big Pharma. We got to get Big Pharma out of the picture. Get them weasels to stop making this money and to stop killing us off one by one. I don't care what I don't even care what the agenda is. The Agenda 21, if it's Depop, if it's whatever. Who cares? At this point, who cares? We need to put an end to it. We need to rise up. We need to stop Big Pharma from killing us off slowly and then making money off of us, off our deaths. Everybody, I'm reaching out to all of you out there. There's a lot to this, and there's nothing to it at the same time. By that I mean this isn't a choice. This is not a choice. If you even have half of a heart, just follow up on this, or at least share it with somebody who does, because we have a social responsibility here. Get your head out of the sand. Smarten up. Stop sending your cat memes and your I don't want to know what you had for dinner on Facebook today. I want to see you link this and share it with people. Okay? This is just a simple request. Help save some lives. Because this is potentially like groundbreaking, life-shattering shit here. And who knows? Who knows what Big Pharma is using the money for? Who owns them? Huh? Who owns them, and what are they doing with this? Where does that go? Just ask yourself. Okay, so, yeah, I wanted to get the right wording. I'm not going to pronounce the 15-syllable words there. But the alpha and acetylgalactosamidase. Yes, I see what I mean. I'm not going to even try that one. Nagalase. Yeah, MAF precursor activity in prostate cancer patients was lost or reduced because of GC. The GC protein was deglycylated by serum alpha, basically destroyed by the nagalase secreted from the cancerous cells. What happens, people, is that when you get a tumor and you have these cancer cells, they produce nagalase, which shut down your GcMaf production, or attempts to anyway. I mean, and then when you're eating foods, when you're buying products that actually shut down your MAF production, then of course these cancer cells can run through your body unchecked. Now, during our interview with Doug and Amanda a couple nights back, they mentioned a great point. And one of the worst things for your body, and they do this all the time, is when you get a biopsy for cancer. Because essentially, when you have this tumor, your body's got this little thing where it pretty much it encapsulates and compartmentalizes a sickness such as cancer, keeping the spread away. Like a thing's like pretty much in like a little sack. Sure, it might be growing with cancer cells, but it's at least compartmentalized to that particular point. And what do you go and do? You go to the doctor. What does he do? Punches a big fat hole in it. And then you get all of these cancer cells flowing through your body. And then, of course, they're going to be releasing more nagalase throughout your system. And then the cancer will just run rampant and then usually cling on to other parts of your body. And then it just goes to town. I mean, think about it, people. These things, they make sense. Especially those of you who might have lost loved ones. When do you lose them? After they find out about it. When they find out about it, what do? They get biopsies done. Then what do? They get told that the only way out is through chemotherapy. So they irradiate the cancer cells. Sure, the cancer cells might start dying off, but so do good cells. So does the entire immune system. They're more likely to die from the common cold or a flu. Now that you've wiped out their immune system. It's not needed, people. I've been saying this from day one because it just felt right. But now this is almost like incontrovertible, guys. Like, seriously. Anyway, we're going to go a little bit deeper. There's a whole page here on GcMaf. I really, really urge you guys to at least just humor me and check this stuff out. I wouldn't lead you astray. If I thought it was BS, I wouldn't even talk about this. Anyway, that's the MAF page. I will provide a link for that. Going back to nagalase here, I'm going to. There's a whole thing on nagalase, so that way you guys can kind of get a little bit of an idea here. Nagalase occurs naturally in the intestines where it breaks down glycoproteins in our food. Nagalase is also produced in quantities by cancers, viruses, and bacteria to break down a specific glycoprotein in our blood, vitamin D binding glycoprotein. Nagalase breaks VDBP at a triage of sugars that are required to activate our immune cells, thus elevate levels of nagalase in the blood. Thus, elevated levels of nagalase in the blood can lead to immunosuppression, then cancers and pathogens grow unchecked. Because it is an enzyme, a catalyst, nagalase performs this malicious ritual over and over and over again, and each time it comes away unscathed and unchanged. One nagalase molecule can thus destroy a huge quantity of vitamin D binding protein molecules. Nagalase has no natural enemies. No bodily process, no drug, no treatment could outsmart this diabolical killer. Until Dr. Nobuto Yamamoto researched and published nagalase, we had no idea as to the actual cause of the immune shutdown that allows cancers and viruses to grow unchecked. Nagalase is a very sensitive marker and can indicate cancer cells before they can be seen on any current scans, tests, or biopsies. Thus, it is not recognized in mainstream medicine as a marker, as they could only tell you that you have the beginnings of a cancer, but they could not give any medication for this. At this very early stage, a change in lifestyle and the addition of MAF active may be all it takes to reverse the symptoms. And testing using nagalase to track effectiveness of pathogenic. Let's go back to, I don't want to get all techie here. Try not to anyway. But basically what they're talking about here is that the nagalase is, it's basically, it's an inhibitor. it stops you from producing the macrophages that are necessary for killing these intrusive and rogue cells. It's that simple, guys. Like, you know, it might sound a little closer to brain surgery than rocket science, but at the same time, guys, like this isn't very complicated. Just they've got really big words. So I want to open your eyes up to this. That's what this video is about. I want you to know why Amanda is being targeted. I want you guys to know why 8 other doctors are dead. And I want everybody to know that this GcMaf is real. Okay? This isn't a wild goose chase. 8 people don't die over wild goose chases. Okay? Smear campaigns aren't created by the entire like BBC and mainstream media. Okay? This doesn't happen over wild goose chases. If anything, they create the wild goose chases to get you going down rabbit holes and create emotional responses to BS. Well, let me tell you something. You want to go on a quote-unquote wild goose chase? Make this one it. This rabbit hole's real, guys. Everyone's going to need your help on this. Spread this out. Get the information out there. Do everything you can. And while you're at it, I'm also going to leave... numbers and addresses for trading standards in the UK. Everybody, light up their phones. Send them letters. Send them emails. Just light it up. Like really, get the word to them that Amanda should be safe. The more people that know about her situation, the less likely they're going to kill her. Less likely she's going to be mobbed in the streets by angry locals who think that she's a baby killer. There's a lot of bullshit out there, guys. And I, for one, I'm not gonna just take this sitting down. She needs our help. The rest of the planet needs her help. So, guys, this is me reaching out on her behalf and on the behalf of many victims out there who are suffering at the hands of Big Pharma. There's going to be more videos coming out about this. There's already a lot of support for Amanda. Not because we believe anything we hear. No, that's not what this community is about. It's because we follow up and we look these things up and we know what the mainstream isn't telling you. So wake up and help mankind, womankind, humankind, any kind. Just be kind. Damn it. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Take care of yourselves. For God's sake, take care of each other. Peace.